It's Cape Joel back again with yet another Steven Universe review, and last Thursday's brand new episode of Steven Universe was entitled Future Boy Zoltron. The Future Boy part is obviously a reference to anime Future Boy Conan, which Rebecca Sugar has said herself is a big influence on Steven Universe, and the Zoltron part, well, that just sounds a lot like Voltron, doesn't it? Also, Zoltaire was the name of the robot fortune teller from the Tom Hanks movie Big. And yeah, robot fortune tellers are exactly what this episode is about. You see, Mr. Smiley, in an attempt to gain some more money for the arcade, sets up an old decommissioned robot fortune teller outside his business, only for Steven to get a little too overexcited and end up breaking the thing. Now, Steven, not wanting to get banned from any more boardwalk businesses, and seriously he has, go check out Serious Steven and Arcade Mania for those, decides to dress up in a Zoltron costume and start handing out fortunes. His costume is a thing of note as well, because I couldn't help but see Ultraman or some other tokusatsu show when I looked at it. At first, things go pretty well for Steven. He makes a lot of money for Mr. Smiley's business and hands out some good advice. Then again, Steven knows the people who live in Beach City pretty well, and their problems aren't very hard to read at all. Onion once again almost single-handedly stealing an entire episode with one funny blink and you'll miss it gag. Things take a very unexpected turn for Steven when he meets a man who is as sad as he is British. Wow, did anyone else think this guy looked like Alan Moore? Because I totally thought he looked like Alan Moore. It seems that no matter what Steven says to this guy, it has no effect. He just still ends up being sad. More than sad, in fact. This dude is like clinically depressed. Things get so desperate for Steven, he ends up reaching out to Garnet in hopes of using her future sight ability to help this guy with his problems. Of course, we've seen in episodes like Winter Forecast and Jailbreak, Garnet, by kissing Steven on the forehead, can very briefly give him use of her future sight powers. Why Garnet even jokes, yep, this seems like a good use of my powers. In a cool bit, the future sight chooses to manifest in this episode as a kind of multiple choice slot machine. Only once again, this backfires. Even with the ability to see a ton of different outcomes, it doesn't matter what Steven says, the sad man still ends up sad. As we find out, the dude's name is ironically Mr. Frowny, and he was comedy partners with Mr. Smiley back when they were both younger. Frowny came to Beach City to see his old partner, but now he's not exactly sure if he should go through with it or not. Now, you might be asking at this point, why is Frowny so depressed? Could it be that he lost touch with his friend? Could it be that he never made it as a comedian? Could it be that he's just always this way? Or quite possibly, is he just upset at the irony that his name is Frowny? Maybe it's all of these things, but I like to lean to the fact that it's none of these things, that this is just a depressed guy, and Steven Universe chooses to look at depression through a very mature, very adult lens, and that is sometimes there are no answers. In fact, this fits quite nicely with the themes that were played with in Mindful Education, this idea that Steven, despite his amazing power, despite how hard he tries, he can't save everybody. Even in the end, when Smiley and Frowny end up re-teaming to do their comedy bit again, he's happy for a minute, but it's not like he's going to be cured forever now. In fact, the episode never even brings up the possibility of trying to quote-unquote cure Frowny. It's just the way he is. Also, hey, wait, now that I sit here and think about it, Smiley and Frowny, smiles and frowns, that's like the tragedy and comedy that makes up the faces of drama, right? Also, Mr. Smiley is a comedian, and comedian Sinbad voiced Smiley for the first season and a half of Steven Universe before getting replaced. You have to wonder if they had written this earlier on with Sinbad in mind. So ever since the big long Steven bombs have ended, I've started reviewing Steven Universe later and later in the week, but for this particular episode, Future Boy Zoltron, I'm glad I waited. At first I was treating it like just another fun shenanigans-filled episode, but now that when I really sit and stop and think about it, it's kind of a nice little meditation on depression. Frowny had a good day by the end of the episode, but that's what depression is. It's good days and bad days. Tomorrow might be completely different for the guy. Beyond that, there were some good jokes, and seeing Steven play dress-up for the majority of the episode is always fun. Overall, I would feel comfortable giving this one a 7 out of 10. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching my newest video. I hope you enjoyed it, and while you're here, why not check out another video I have on offer, or maybe if you're feeling in a supportive mood, you want to like or subscribe. And if you want to support the creation of more videos just like this one, then please by all means check out the Cape Joel Patreon. A little bit goes a very long way, and I will see you all next time.